cryptic corner where the coins keep turning, logging now, the future's burning. JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner. Pixels glow, charts flow, crypto whispers, secrets show. He cracks the code on this winding road. JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic. Tune in, lean back, grab your coffee, hit the track. JJ's live, don't be late. Cryptic wisdom, seal your fate. JJ's cryptic.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Happy Tuesday. How's everyone doing today? Sound off in the chat. Smash the like button on your way in. Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are still in the bunker. It is still fearmonger outside, and we are afraid because we are retail. Let's get a move on. Bitcoin currently trading at $68,215.00. Very cool. Dominance 59.08. Potentially rejecting 59.2. We are above 59 in general though, so we'll see if we continue to ride this moving average on the RSI as support. We got positive money flow, but that's on dominance, so I don't know if it's really relevant. Let's go refresh our liquidation heat map and see where we're at. What's going on, Gourmet Brands? What's going on, 88 Metals? Appreciate you guys for being here. Smash the like button on your way in. Happy Tuesday. Happy to have you guys. I'm a little hyped up for some reason. 67,790. I don't know why. 67,790. Gotta check, make sure the mic's on. That would be really funny if it wasn't. One of these days it won't be. 64,279. That'll be the day that I decide not to check it. I'm gonna be like, you don't have to check it. You're being paranoid. And you guys are gonna be like, there's no sound. 68,866. And the top of the top, we've got, I'll go right here, 77.35. So tonight, allegedly tonight is the blood moon. And honestly, not that bloody, at least for Bitcoin. Metal's got a big sell-off today. Obviously on the day, gold is up 1.37%, but this dump right here, what's interesting about gold out of everything else, gold had this rising wedge. We broke bullish and we were like, oh, when we break bullish out of a bearish pattern, it usually invalidates, and it's usually pretty hefty invalidation. Well, that was not the case this time around. We broke bullish out of a bearish pattern, and that was our fake out until the breakout to the downside. Now, having said that, we've also seen MWs play out, so maybe we get a little MW. It is gold. It's just been reacting oddly, especially considering geopolitical scenario unfolding. Gold should be higher than everything else is right now. Gold should be flying. So it's interesting to see a retrace. And it's not like we had some meteoric rise, you know. We had a meteoric rise back here, nice retrace, and then we kind of chopped sideways. That sideways choppy accumulation, even if it is upside, was very tame. So it kind of still doesn't make sense to me that we got this sell-off. That being said, we did bounce just above 5K. Technically, if you want to count the wick, we did bounce off of 5K, so that's good. We're currently sitting at 51.60. Next question is, where are we going from here? And I guess I could probably sell you guys some bull div. If I really wanted to sell you some bull stuff, it would be bull div. So we'll see where that takes us. But before we get into silver, let's go back to Bitcoin. What's going on, Dixie? 88 Metal said, it's all about the black gold, sir. What's the black gold? Coal, and petroleum. Mad Pita Peppers, long time no see. RR Roar. 88 Metals Mania said, I would not have said you were muted either. That's actually really funny. That's even more funny. How dare you? All right. You know what would be hilarious is if you guys like organized like as a community and you were like, all right, next time JJ fumbles something, nobody say anything. And then I just went like an entire stream. You guys would have to like keep the numbers up too, because I would notice if there was like only like 1 or 2 people here, I'd be like, oh, is there something wrong? And I would start checking stuff. So you'd have to coordinate to the point where you just have the stream on in the background. There's no audio, and I'm sitting here talking to myself for like an hour and a half. That would be pretty epic. Let's go take a look at Roar. Is it... Where is it? There. Is that the right one? 1 year and 11 months? I think that's the right one. And bam. This is not the right one. What's going on here? I don't know. Roaring Kitty. Baby Tiger. Roar, roar, roar. I guess you gotta let me know. It's been so long since I've looked at this. That's the right one. There it is. On ETH. Never mind. Forget I said anything. I remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers. Okay. $1.9 million market cap. So it is a micro cap at this point. Liquidity looks decent. Let's see. Nothing really crazy going on. Yeah, RSI sitting right in the middle. You are technically, so I would look for getting above the level that you're at right now, 19, 20. Try to get above 20 because there's a clear psychological level right here. Or not even psychological, there's just a resistance level. You had to break, support, bounce, and then support again. And that really was like you establishing your bottom right there. So the fact that you wicked down there and then you came down here, retraced down to that point, you kind of did a fake out below it looks like. Let me actually put this on here. I'm going to just go for 20 because that's the psychological level. 0.0. I'm going to go 20. Yeah. Okay. So you want to get above that. Right now, looks like you got to fake out below it. And you're trying to test it as support and bounce off of that to continue to the upside. It's a meme coin, so take TA with a grain of salt. Your Hail Mary, if you do break down, is going to be this level right here that you're trying to hold this 10. That 10 level is like your last ditch effort. If you get below that, it's no man's land. You can either accumulate like crazy or walk away. The decision's yours. I'm sure it'll pump in the future, but it's all up to you, man. It's your game. Buyers and sellers are okay. Daily volume looks like crap, but that's usually where the best money's made. Anyways, Bitcoin. Let's get back to Bitcoin. Get back to big boy. Let me check the chat really quick. Mad Peter Peppers said, LOL. 88 Metals Mania said, even... Oh, yeah, I read that. Cash Joke said, oh, what up? Just opened my browser, and it had the start to yesterday's stream up, LOL, and your song intro is pretty chill. Good custom lo-fi. Thank you, Cash Joke. My buddy Zach made it, actually. Unprompted, he was like, I want to make you some songs, and I was like, all right. I'm not a big AI music guy. Family full of musicians. It was a little blasphemous for me to even use it. I got in so much trouble. My fiance was like, why would you even use that? And I was like, well, you guys are welcome to remake it for me. I did buy an interface specifically to make music, so hopefully we can recreate the song. That'd be cool. But, oops, I didn't mean to whack the mic, my bad. He put together a couple of them for me, and this one just sounded really nice, so I like threw it on one day as a joke, and everyone was like, dude, that song's so sick, and I was like, all right, I like it too, let's use it. Plus, it's a little bit easier. I bought rights. I have like a whole library of songs that I bought the licenses to. And they're okay. They're good songs. They're cool. Like for the intro and stuff like that. But I still, every single day, I would get copyright strike. And I had to go through the process and be like, I own the license. It was such a peeve. So I was like, I'm just going to use this AI one. And then the licensed people can go F themselves until I need to use their music again. Okay. Mad Peter Pepper said, no, the one on Ethereum. Got it. Cat Joke said, I was like, I bet JJ on right now. Always. And here we are. Hell yeah. J-Wise Adventure said, since you are looking at stuff on chain, can you look at Kliza, please? J-Wise Adventure, hit me up once I get through total 3, okay? It shouldn't take too long. Billy said, Bloodbath, where? I'm sick of watching the news. I don't watch the news, man. I mean, I guess I have to when I get home and I monitor the situation for the stream. But after that, I turned into a potato yesterday, dude. I like melted into my couch. That was the most relaxed I've been in a long time. It was very nice. Bitcoin, 68.19 and 26 cents. We're kind of following this fractal here, which is interesting. I wasn't expecting us to follow it. So it's kind of cool to see it play out. My question is, when are we going to get to the fun part? And allegedly, we're looking at next Monday. So I think I might have a decent chunk of time off next week. So we might be able to potentially stream most of this. I might just do a bunch of 12-hour streams next week. I'm not gonna commit to any of those, so don't ask. The last one almost killed me, but it was fun. It was so much fun. Anyways, 68, $6.49. I'm assuming if we're gonna continue to follow the fractal, we're gonna be sideways until next week, but we'll see what plays out. ETH down 0.45% on the day, currently trading at 1973. Can we get back above 2K here? We are laddering up, so I'm not mad at it. We are very slowly laddering up. Can we, like, kind of do one of these? You know? I don't know. That would be bearish pattern, but bullish candles for the short term. We got a bearish cross over the moving average in the RSI today, and that seemingly rejecting as we speak. Are we going to go down from here, or can we actually get above 2K and stay above it? You can see we're kind of, most of our time is spent in this little range right here. We got very few attempted breakouts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All of them failed. So that resistance of 2K is a big deal. We got to get through that. Solana's down 0.34% on the day, currently trading at 86.69. Getting above 90 here is going to be a big deal. But with this, we do kind of have a range, little interim scenario based off of rejection, attempted right there, failure. Yeah, like 85, 86 seems to be a little bit of a struggling zone. Or I guess it's 87, isn't it? That's kind of a weird arbitrary number. Maybe 87.5. That's what we'll go with. I'll just go 87.5. We'll call that a little temporary psychological resistance, I guess. Oh, who knows, man. 87.5. 87.5. So yeah, let's see if we can get above that. Stay above it. RSI is kind of coiled up. You could probably make that argument for ETH as well. Maybe we're coiled up. But getting above 90, big deal for Solana. Money flow is negative. We got a green dot on the momentum wave point of the upside. ETH is just negative with red dot still in play. Total 3 down 0.12% on the day. Horizontal, I don't know, the skewer zone, I'm going to call it 711. Pretty much 700 billion. We're staying above that, which is good. We're kind of like perfectly playing around 700 billion. It's going to be a big psychological level. Same thing as Solana and ETH here. Are we consolidating, and is it going to result in upside or downside? We'll have to wait and see what plays out. We got a red dot on the momentum wave. See, look how coiled up the momentum wave is too. Even that. RSI and momentum wave coiled up very nicely. We're going to get a burst. Into which direction? We'll have to wait and see. Let me go check out, what are we looking at? Kliza for JY's Adventure. Long-time supporter of the channel. Appreciate you, my friend. Guys, don't forget to smash the like button on your way in. Appreciate you guys for joining. Kliza down 14.63%. Unless you're talking about the Coinbase. Nope, that's wrapped. Kliza. Saeed said, hi, sir. How you doing, Saeed? See, the weakness here is anime waifu. Anyone wants a waifu, they're going to come in and they're going to buy Kliza. They're going to be like, oh, I'm going to, excuse me, milady, but might I interest you in some fiat? I'm something of an investor myself, you know. So people are going to buy this. Volume's really nice, actually. You got 10K in volume, $235,000 market cap. Whoa, liquidity is like over 50%. That's crazy. I really like the high liquidity. I don't know if I've really ever seen that. That's insane. You got contract. This guy right here's got 11K, and that's nowhere. That's like 10% of the LP. So the distribution is lovely. I really like that. Question is it going to... I don't know. What are they doing? Are they printing? I doubt it. But why is it so low compared to everything else? 4-hour time frame. Let's go check out the RSI. I mean, that's consolidating. Let's go to the daily. Yeah, there's nothing crazy really going on. For some reason, this part right here is like weirdly lacking any volatility or price action. And then you get a little spicy right here, like people know what's up. Interesting. Outside of that, though, I don't know. It seems to dump on the same pattern. I'm wondering if there's some kind of, if this is like script dumping, like somebody has a bot that sells for them. Check the website. It's pretty cool. Oh, I do like a cool website. All right, hang on. I'm going to mute it just in case. There's a waifu. There you go. Anime waifu. Not ready to play. Spectator mode is live. That sounds like something I shouldn't click on while I'm on stream. Welcome to Night City Runner. What's your play tonight? What? Okay, this is pretty cool, actually. Hey, that's the guy from... Isn't that the guy from Cyberpunk Edge Runners? Am I crazy? Very cool. So is this like a AI agent? Agent coin. Ooh. Okay, maybe I'll look into it a little bit more later. Seems to have all the right boxes checked. Maybe it's worth checking out. I really like the distribution is a big deal. That's the best distribution I've ever seen. Okay. Billy said, Bloodbath, where are you going to do a bunch of 12-hour streams? Dude, don't you have a family? And Netflix and Paramount Plus? You're giving all your free time to us? No wonder you only have 3 watchers. Yeah, maybe I should be mean to you guys or something. I gotta start doing the looks maxing or some crap like that. Be like, you have to be an alpha, and you guys are all betas, cause you're watching me, and I'm an alpha. I'm totally an alpha. I've always been an alpha. I like those people that need to reassure themselves all the time. Very, very confident, which is it gives like pure confidence. When you have to tell everybody all the time that you're an alpha, that's like the most confident you could ever be. JWaz Adventure, check the website. Yep. Cool. Phillies Peak Cope. ADA currently up 0.53% on the day. Currently trading at 26.40. This thing's been like struggling to hold 26 cents for it seems like half a decade, man. I guess what's frightening me now about ADA specifically is this is 100% a ascending channel, and that is a bearish pattern. So I need to see some positive price action on ADA relatively soon. Otherwise, I'm going to assume the worst. If you dump from your previous bear market low, how much farther down are you going? And this isn't like, oh, they printed a big chunk of supply. It's just going down. Like, people are selling their ADA. So, SNEC on the other hand, oddly enough, I have more faith in SNEC than ADA. Currently trading at 0.000533, up 0.62% on the day. There was kind of like a little wedge thing going on here. It got sloppy towards the end, and now we got another sloppy situation with a nice wick leading to the downside. This is specific to MXC, though. That wick might not be available on chain, might not be present on chain, I guess is what I meant to say. So keep an eye on it. Look for 5 to hold psychological level. If we break below that, it's going to get spicy. Minute down 0.29. This thing's been lingering in between 5.4 and 6.4. Not much to talk about. Watch yesterday's stream if you want insight at midnight, because it's at the same price that it was yesterday and the day before. You could probably watch any stream from the past month, and midnight would be the same. We're waiting for it to do something. XRP, same boat, but a little more interesting because higher market cap. So we'll talk about this. $1.36.2 on the day, up 0.1%. We are holding 34.97, which is a previous point of confluence based on price action. We got double bottom right here, and then if you go back even further, because of how old this chart is, you actually have price data to go off of, and that's an immense support zone at 134, 135. So it's holding right now. We got indecisive, very indecisive, and actually, weirdly enough, low volatility candles right here. Our RSI is coiled up, perhaps ready for a break. To what direction, we're not sure. I'd say that this is a similar setup to Solana and Ethereum. We're coiled up, trying to see which direction we break. Billy said, JJ, how many more weeks of holding ADA until you can sell at break even? Honestly, my snack bags are bigger than my ADA bags. So, I don't know how to answer that question. Because ADA's probably been, honestly, I'm probably break even right now because it's been the same price for like 4 years. Cash Oak said, I'm 50K long Litecoin. I think we want the 58 high. I'm betting on it. Damn, 50K long is crazy. All right. We talked about XRP holding that 135 level, 136 level. Looks really good. Let's see if we can get that spring up to 150. Otherwise, if we break down, which is not out of the question, I guess I would look for $1. At that point, big psychological level at $1. H bar is up 1.09%. A whole lot of nothing burger going on with H bar. Very, very sideways. Sweet, similar setup with less, I guess H bar's got this nice little downside chunk right there, that little inverse bar, whereas Sui just kind of held the ground or bled out for a longer period of time. So let's see if Sui can get back above $1. It's going to be a big level. I guess if we're holding above 90, that's good. 85 seems to be something of support. But it does seem to be totally okay with losing that 90 cent level. So we want to show some strength, stay above that. Ondo, whole lot of nothing. Can't get above 27. Arrow, similar setup, just with 35 instead of 27. Stellar's been holding 15 level. See if that sticks. Polkadot, still very surprising. Pumped up from $1.20 to $1.50, and it has maintained that level. Is this a gigantic flag? Maybe. That'd be kind of sick. Wouldn't that be cool if Polkadot just flipped everything and became the #1 cryptocurrency? You know how pissed people would be? Avalanche. That's one of the crazier things I've ever said. Up 0.44% on the day. Currently trading at 922. Struggling to get above 950. Really struggling. We got below that. Rejected it once, twice. Technically 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 times. 8th time's the charm. Let's see if we can achieve this like coiled up bust to the upside. RSI looks good. We do got a green dot at the Pico low right here. Maybe that'll give us the speed, the need for speed to achieve the greed. Chainlink, similar setup. Probably the exact same thing if we're being completely honest. Let's get above 9 and eventually 10 for both Chainlink and Avalanche. I want to regain double digits. That's important. Cash Oak said, what up, Robbers? Mr. Robbers, how's life in the Lin? Mr. Robbers said, hey, JJ, hey, good peeps. What's going on, Mr. Robbers? Happy Tuesday, my friend. Cheers. 88 Metals Mania said that comment melted the foil hat. What did? Cash Oak saying, any of you guys trade Lev? Am I? Okay, don't. I didn't know if I was wearing it. I put it on earlier while I was getting ready for the stream. Got to protect my brainwaves. What comment, though? What comment melted the tinfoil hat? The 50K long? I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. Also, what's going on in that pulse play? We're going to skip. Doge, the people's meme, below 10 cents. That's crazy. I was expecting it to go to 10 cents. I was not expecting it to lose 10 cents at support. My ADA comment. Ew. Yes, indeed. Monad's actually up 1.57%, but it is not holding up that well overall. It's definitely down since launch. Looks a little sus. Just saying. Gold up 1.2% on the day. We talked about this a little bit earlier. I'll talk about it again because we got a lot more people here. Oh, I got to do a poll as well. You guys watch gold for a moment while I do a poll in the chat. Guys, smash the like button, share the stream. We're trying to get the 2,000 subscribers before April. I think it's possible. Who is going to properly integrate SocialFi first? In case you guys are not aware, SocialFi, at least in this, for the sake of this poll, I'm going to say is like the integration of financial products within the already existing the already existing social media site. So we're going with X, Twitter, we're going with Meta, Facebook, we're going with Google YouTube, and we're going with TikTok. So I'm talking like full on, like you have a wallet that's like connected to your account. People can see it, they can tip you, and maybe even that wallet can like receive any kind of cryptocurrency or any kind of denominated note, any kind of dollar, Canadian dollar, the Japanese yen, US dollar, the Mexican peso, anything like that, and it automatically converts it to that user's currency of choice, whether that's dollar amount or cryptocurrency. It can be a tip. I can pay you for services through their platform, anything like that. What do you guys think? Let me know what you think. We got the poll going in the chat. Who is going to properly integrate SocialFi first? X, Meta, Google, or TikTok? So gold here, very interesting, got above its upper trend line of this ascending wedge, and you know the wedge is sloppy, so I'm not entirely sold on the wedge. It could end up just being a channel at this point. But before we make that decision, if it was a wedge, we got a fake out to the upside and a break to the downside. I did talk about this M turning into a potential W, and then that being the springboard. Again, I'm not entirely sold on the wedge, but we've talked about this in the past where we have any kind of pattern. Usually if this would have broken bullish on like Bitcoin or something, that would be a long for me, because you break I'm sorry, that would have been a short for me. You break bullish and then you eventually tumble bearish. Whenever there's any kind of wedge or anything on Bitcoin or some other altcoin, the first move is the false move, at least in my experience 9 times out of 10 in the past 3 to 4 years. So I don't know, it's interesting to see it play out with gold. I suppose this is maybe just some kind of retrace to continue to climb, maybe a big sell-off, deleveraging. I don't know. There's so many gold products out there now. It's just, and everyone and their brothers buying precious metals. It's hard to read. So I want to see this thing hold 5. If it loses 5, it's gonna get weird. It's gonna get very weird. Mr. Robbers said, doing okay, Philly. Work's busy. I have to help train way too many new young bucks. Could be worse. Cat Joke said we all could have a Discord call going while JJ live. Litecoin ripping now. Is Litecoin ripping? Let's actually go check it out. If you guys are curious, by the way, we do have a Discord in the description. It's completely free, a ton of fun. No obligations. I'm not gonna shill you anything there. It's a fun time. And if you go there and for some reason you get a DM from me, it's not me, and I don't want any of your money. So don't ever send me money on the internet unless you're like tipping me on YouTube. Yeah, I'm never gonna DM you and ask you for money on any private capacity. Litecoin actually looks relatively decent. We got that coil going up on the RSI and on the price. I don't know if it's a wedge. There's a consolidation happening, like a deep consolidation on all of these coins. And it just looks like it's about to explode. Like if you put a Bollinger Band around this, let's actually go do that. The Bollinger Band is probably ready to pop. Please tell me I got Bollinger Bands. There's no way. Oh boy. There we go. Bollinger Bands. Bam. Look at that. That squeeze. That's on the 4 hour. Let's go to the daily. Yeah, it's pinching, man. That's crazy. So last time, I guess we got kind of a squeeze here and that popped up, but that eventually broke down. So we do have to watch for that fake out possibility. It hasn't been this tight in a long time. See how squeezed this part got, and then it got really volatile for a minute. We're looking for something like that. Now, people probably argue the blood moon happening tonight probably going to break to the downside. I have no idea. I've seen no evidence to show me that the blood moon is inherently bearish every single time. It actually is kind of the opposite of that. It's like completely the opposite of what happened the time previously. And last time it dumped, so maybe this time we get a green blood moon. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, Litecoin getting a little pumpy. That's exciting. Let's go back to getting rid of the Bollinger Band and turn on Fu Manchu. Get back to business. That's not what I wanted. I clicked the wrong thing. Oh my gosh, we have 2 RSIs now. Are they like slightly different colors, or am I blind? Why can you do two of the same indicator? That's funny. All right. We were talking about Bitcoin. We went over gold. Let's go over silver. Silver, a little more interesting than gold, in my opinion. Really quick, let me check the chat. Hey now, JJ. Who doesn't mind a sloppy wedge? Sorry. Oh, please let JJ hit 2K subs on exactly April Fool's Day. That would be so funny. JY's Adventure said, I am trying to hit the threshold for monetization on X at 4 million impressions now, 1 mil more to go. It's tough. Yeah, they changed it now. You can't just be a reply guy. I think I got mine by being a reply guy. I will say, unless, like, if you really grind, I think it's super worth it. I think I have too much of my focus over here on YouTube to really grind on X. I haven't gotten that much money off of them. I've got to, I guess, be a little more disciplined about posting there, though. Tom Solik Scout said, JJ asked me to go get Google Play gift cards for him on Discord. It's actually PlayStation Google Play. Get out of here. Take those back and get the right ones. I'm just kidding. Billy said, JJ won't DM you asking for cash, but he'll DM you pics of his balls. He has for gift cards for Toys R Us. Yeah, Radio Shack. We only accept Radio Shack credit card. Mr. Robert said, I've got too many pics of my own balls. All 3. Damn, that's crazy. How big of a red flag? That'd be kind of a funny prank show. I feel like you waste people's time, though. Imagine you set up, like, fake dates. And see, that's too sketchy, though. It could be a game show. You can see how long the people last. No, because then people will be more inclined to go on creepy dates, and then they'll get kidnapped and stuff. It'll be too crazy. Forget I said anything. Okay. Silver, 83.22. Silver looks decent here. So, I'm not entirely sold on this falling channel. But I do like the upper trend line no matter what. We got 1, 2 hits, and then a break. Like a hit and a break. And that kind of coincided with the idea of this falling wedge playing out with a little midpoint. Yeah, really. I say that I don't care for the falling wedge, and then I do. So, I don't know. End of the day, we are sitting above 77. And, whoops. We're at 83 right now. So we're holding 80. It looks like we got to bounce off of 80 right there. We broke above our wedge, kind of danced around, got a rejection, pull back to 80. That rejection was at 95. So we're playing the psychological game right now. Let's see if we can get back above 90 and start to hold some ground. We got a green dot on the momentum wave on Market Cipher. I don't know if that's really relevant, but I'm going to point it out anyways. We are coming out of oversold very, very vaguely. A little bit oversold on the 4-hour RSI. Let's see if we get a bullish cross over this moving average. I can make the argument for like a sloppy inverse head and shoulder there, right there. So let's see if we end up getting a break. ISM PMI officially came in yesterday. Above 50, but below 52.6. It was above expectations as well. So we are still in expansion. Obviously, probably going to postpone this potential bullish scenario until next month, but we'll see what plays out. Mr. Robbers said, LOL, goat. Gourmet Brand said, Trump reposted, now Brian Armstrong tweets and videos. Ooh, that's exciting. I did see the Trump post. We're going to go through that in a second for the news segment. Philly said, JJ, did you ever see the pics I sent you of the store Cool Box in Lima? They're exactly like Radio Shack. Maybe I feel like I did. I miss Radio Shack so much, dude. It like hurts my soul that they're gone. It's like the death of people doing their DIY repairs. DXY. This might be one of the biggest stories this week is the DXY. If nothing else happens this week, then the DXY is going to be the big one. 99.211. We are making a epic run for 100. Now, this one played out kind of the way that we say all the time. When you have a bearish pattern, which this is a bear pennant, and it breaks the opposite direction, it always breaks violently. So this was a bearish pattern with a bullish break. Bullish break, violent response is epic upside, and that's exactly what's playing out, especially for the DXY. Upside this fast, kind of unprecedented, I suppose. Yeah, that's pretty vertical compared to everything else. So 99.211. Are we going to get above 99.5? Probably, maybe not. I don't know. It's a psychological level. 100 is going to be the big one, though. We want to see if we reject that 100 or if we actually can get above it. Because if we reject, then we're going to have to try to see if we can break below this 15-year-old legacy trend line that goes all the way back to April 2011. If we don't reject and we break right through it and hold it as support, then assets, like I said, the DXY dumping is the easy button for assets. The dollar goes down, your asset, as long as it doesn't lose intrinsic value, your asset goes up. If the dollar pumps, then whatever asset you're holding, whether it's cryptocurrency, stocks, real estate, if the dollar's pumping, in order for your item to increase in value, it has to be worth more than a pumpy dollar. So it's a bit of a catch-22. If your item stays at the same value and the dollar pumps, that's great. But if your item, and by your item, it could be your entire portfolio in this scenario, if your item loses value, though, and the dollar's pumping, then it's almost like leverage. Like you're losing way more than what just the chart shows. So we're going to keep a close eye on this. Obviously, it's a big deal in money markets, and we're going to have to wait and see what happens. As of right now, we're looking at a potential double top based on this 99.5 level. So this is our second attempt at breaking it. If we lose it, then we got potential easy button. We do have a red dot on Market Cipher, which is interesting. Last time we had one was right here, and we insta-dumped. So are we going to insta-dump again, or did that play out already with this big fat red candle? Who knows? Where's the other ones? We got one right here, and we went up further. We had one right here, and we went down and immediately up. So it's not an instant like, oh, you're going to go down right now, because this even went down and then continued higher. So if we are going to, put a little bit of merit in the red dot, we definitely have to give it a little more time. MicroStrategy, aka Big B Coffee, currently trading at 132.60. If you guys are not aware, the reason I call it Big B Coffee is because for whatever reason, I'm 1000% convinced Saylor just hired the logo designer from Big B Coffee to make his strategy logo. Or maybe he was drinking Big B Coffee and he was like, I ought to redesign the logo, make it the Bitcoin B. I'm not a big fan of that orange though. And then he looked at it, he was probably like, huh. Okay. Just scanned it and like copied it in Photoshop. Philly. Okay, Mr. Roberts said I have 0 degrees here in the north. That's sad. You should have went to college. I'm just kidding. Gonna go run one of the RC trucks. We be back soon. Okay, so I have a cool metric since we're talking about vehicles, and this is relevant. I believe Mr. Barber's RC trucks are gas powered. My boss has a 2009 GMC Sierra sitting in his driveway. It's been sitting there for years, for like 6 years, maybe longer, probably longer. It might have been there for like 8 or 10. We have done nothing with the vehicle. It has not been started. Battery has not been replaced. The gas has been sitting in the tank. There's been no oil change. And he gets this thing on his door that he has to move it, and he's going to get cited or whatever. So he's like, can you charge the battery and stuff? I'm the one who maintains all the vehicles in our company. I show up, I charge the battery, stick the key in. No joke. This thing starts faster than my daily driver. And it runs beautifully. It's been sitting outside in Michigan for like the better part of a decade. And it starts right up. That blew my mind. I was like in disbelief. I like started up and then I like got out and I stepped back and I was like, whoa. Was not expecting that at all, but it was pretty sick. Okay. Anyways, Big B Coffee, very sideways. I'm kind of at a loss for what's going on with MicroStrategy and BitMine. There's like a weird paused limbo kind of feeling going on with the cryptocurrency stocks. The market's definitely waiting for something is what I'm getting out of this. The market is 100% waiting for something. Let's hope that it doesn't do this, because I feel like it might be doing that. I don't know. I don't know. Worst case scenario, let's look for $100 to hold if it does break down harshly in any way, shape, or form. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but if it does, we got to be prepared for the worst. What's going on, Professor Oak? Philly said, do you still do the 100-mile drive every day? No, that project is complete finally. Thank God. All right. NASDAQ. NASDAQ and S&P were weird today and yesterday. Like, ever since the whole situation in Iran started, stock market's been odd. It's kind of indecisive. Usually, a geopolitical scenario is a very, very easy buy the dip for me. Because it literally goes back to that silly meme where it's like, if there's no nuclear war and you don't buy, then you're sidelined. If there is, and you don't buy, then you're nuked. You know? So, like, no matter what, you only benefit if you buy. And that's true. That's so true. But if that's the case, why isn't anybody buying? You know what I mean? You don't buy, nuclear war doesn't happen, you're sidelined. Nuclear war happens, you die. You buy, nuclear war doesn't happen, you're rich. Nuclear war happens, you die. The only positive here is if you buy. No matter what, you should just buy. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is I'm talking to myself. But it makes sense. With that, NASDAQ and S&P 500 did not get the memo. They're being bought and sold. So the nuclear war is happening on the chart in front of our very eyes. We'll have to see what goes on with this. Battling with like 24.4, 24.5. It's a weird one. It is a weird one. Yeah, we bounced off 24.5, rejected 25, bounced off of 24.4, rejected 24.8. Like, is this a wedge? Could you make the little bullish copium argument for a wedge? Probably. Is that a little too much bullish copium? Probably. Have we seen this choppy sideways crazy boringness before? Yes. Has it played out to the upside? No. It actually played out to the exact opposite, the downside, which I know that that's probably a bad word, but maybe we already got the downside. I don't know. It's definitely a weird market. This is our first big fractal deviation, so it's interesting to see this on S&P or NASDAQ specifically. We've had other fractal deviations, but regarding the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ, this is our first big one. So let's see what happens. 24.6, 25. Yeah, 24 is way down here, so hitting that is going to be a milestone if we do hit it. What are we looking for if we're in a proper bear market on the NASDAQ? I think it's 20%. NASDAQ SP pullback is considered 20%. So from the top right there, we're looking at approximately 20K, actually. Wow, that's crazy. So keep your eye out. Be careful out there. Don't invest more than you can afford to lose for this exact reason. S&P 500, on the other hand, also equally odd behavior. We got a gap to the downside. Giga dump. Market was scared, and then boop, got bought right back up. Filled the gap. Same thing happened the day before, Monday. Gap down. Market got bought right back up. Problem is, we're gapping down more than we're doing like one step forward and 2 steps back. This is what's happening every single time. So we gotta flip up that and get our 2 steps forward. Are we going to come down to like 66? I suppose isn't out of the question. If we do get a proper bear market pullback here on the S&P, what would we be at, you ask? Approximately, oh geez, I'm not even down far enough. Probably 55. Yeah, around 55, 5,600 out of 68. So keep an eye on that as well. Not saying that's going to happen. If it does, that's where we would be at. We do have positive money flow. I don't know if Market Cipher really applies to this, but talk about it anyways. S&P 68.16. Let's see if we can get back above 69. Otherwise, look for 67.50 bounce. Actually makes sense from a psychological standpoint. After that, I guess we're looking for 65, man. Or like every $100, maybe go for 67, 66, and whatnot. We'll see. We will see. This is Fractal 3.0. And this is our other deviation, surprise deviation on our stock market fractals. So let's see what happens. Bitcoin, 68,441. The fractal here is playing out oddly well. So if that is the case and it ends up playing out very nicely, then we're looking for a wait. Pretty much this entire week's going to be sideways boring if the fractal is gospel, if you will. We do have a confirmed red dot on markets everywhere, which is a little spooky. Apparently on the weekly, we got a green dot. And what's his name? CryptoFace was having some kind of fit on X about. He's like, oh my gosh, this never happens. He was pretty excited about it. So maybe it's worth getting excited for. He's got a lot more money than I do, so. But I'm pretty sure he charges like $500 a month for his little indicator, so maybe that's why. Anyways, news segment. This cracked me up. Me, wow, I'm so excited to see the eclipse tonight. The sky. It was pretty good. Just in, this cracked me up earlier too. Bitcoin News posted, the Federal Reserve's ACH, Automated Clearinghouse Interbank Money Transfer System, is currently down. The Fed is urging customers not to resend ACH payments while they wait for confirmation. This doesn't happen with Bitcoin. So here's the thing. While this was happening, and we actually have evidence of this later in the news segment, while ACH was down 7 hours ago, the United States did test transactions on its Bitcoin holdings. I don't know if they did that on purpose. So ACH goes down. The United States does test transactions showing that Bitcoin actually works. And then Trump makes this monstrosity, like novel tweet or post on X about the Clarity Act and how banks are being unfair and they need to work with Coinbase and cryptocurrency firms and cryptocurrency companies, managers and stuff like that, creators, blockchain, whatever the hell, to pass the Clarity Act in a fair, like, equal playing ground kind of situation. There's also this, like, creep. I hate the guy. I'm not a fan. There's a video of Jamie Dimon, and he kind of word salads his way out of a question about the Clarity Act being unfair, and he's like, we do want competition and blockchain technology, and then he starts blah 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 for like a minute, and he's like getting worked up and like sweaty, and then he like makes a weird like backhanded remark at the. He's like, if that happens, then it's gonna be carnage for retail. It was just weird, man. It was weird. He's weird. I don't like him. I think he's creepy, and I'm not a fan. Would not be surprised if he was on the island directory. Is he? I have no idea, actually. I don't bother looking at that stuff, but if you said he was, I would probably believe you. Gourmet Brands said, we're all waiting. Gotta go. Have a good night. Take it easy, Gourmet Brands. I appreciate you for stopping by. Cheers, my friend. Happy Tuesday. Today's Tuesday, right? It is. That is true. Thank you. Okay. Let's see. You guys are saying Twitter. I think it's going to be Twitter as well. We got 4 votes, 13 people watching. What's going on? Can we get your guys' opinion on the poll in the chat? Also, smash the like button. I asked you guys who is going to properly integrate SocialFi first. If you guys are not aware of what SocialFi is, it's basically just like finance on a more social level. It doesn't have to be crypto specific. It can be cash. It can be gold. It can be stocks. Any kind of investing or tipping feature integrated directly into the social media site. Your options are Twitter, X, Meta, Facebook, Google, YouTube, or TikTok. Let me know what you think. We got 4 votes right now. I'll let that go a little bit longer. While we get into the news segment, or continue the news segment, Watcher Guru posted 12 hours ago, the world's 3rd largest shipping company, CMA CGM, suspends all Middle East bookings amid U.S.-Israeli war with Iran. That's pretty crazy. Iraq shuts down the world's 2nd largest oil field, Rumalia, following the Strait of Hormuz closure. Crazy stuff. CFTC Chair Mike Selig says U.S. plans to approve crypto perpetual futures within the next month. I don't think that that's a good idea, but sure, add more leverage. That's fine. Michael Saylor says he is buying Bitcoin right now. What a freaking legend. President Trump ends all trade with Spain for refusing to allow U.S. military to use its bases to attack Iran. TNT Media said silver looking good, right? China entered the ring. Yes, they did. What do we got? Is it going up more? It is up 3.5. Yeah, silver and gold are going to be great. These pullbacks surprise me, though. But they do look, they're responding very nicely. I have a long on silver from $77. And I might add to it, actually. I don't know. I should have added to it today. Dang it. But we're up 3.6%. Bouncing off of oversold. Green dot. Looks great. Gold also looks good. Yeah, man. Let's see where we end up. Billy said, y'all want to know why gold and silver is pumping so much? Because our internet and electrical grid goes down. Good luck being able to spend your Bitcoin. Billy, Jack Dorsey fixed that with BitChat. It's a wireless mesh network with Bluetooth, which is hosted on your local device. So if like you and everybody around you has your Bluetooth on, you can send Bitcoin to anyone that's part of that network. Watch oh shoot, what's it called? Starts with a P. Show on Netflix. Starts with a P. It is, dang it. Nope. Pantheon. Go watch Pantheon on X. Something happens in that, and like the grid goes down, and these people start popping up wireless mesh networks. TNT Media said it's paper versus physical. LOL. It's awesome. It is pretty epic, isn't it? So I don't see why they can't both coexist. Because if I want to go to China right now from America, I can't bring all my precious metals with me. Unless I want to declare them like a chode, then, you know, everybody knows, hey, this guy's got a crap ton of gold and silver. If I want to bring a bunch of money with me, though, I can bring my Bitcoin. And if it's on my phone in my pocket, I can just fit on a piece of paper in my wallet. Pretty cool. I can bring it wherever I want. Anywhere. So they both have their positives and negatives. I think they could coexist. Billy said, so you're going to be able to pay someone in Bitcoin that's 25 feet from you? So you're only... No. It's a wireless mesh network. So what you know as the internet today can be recreated with our local devices. So all of our phones can create this wireless mesh network from like me to my neighbor to the guy across the street, the guy down the road. And that eventually, that grid gets, like the mesh gets tight enough to where I can send you Bitcoin and maybe I'm in Michigan and you're in Florida. You know what I mean? It would just bounce from person to person. It's pretty cool. And it's allegedly encrypted. So, I don't know. There's those rumors that Dorsey might be Satoshi, and I actually don't hate them. Which I feel like I should, because that seems oddly silly, but he's a smart dude. Okay, I'm going to end the poll. We only got 4 votes, so I'm starting a new one. I asked you guys who's going to properly integrate SocialFi. You guys said Twitter. 2 of you guys said Twitter. 1 said TikTok. 1 said Meta, Facebook. Oh, no, actually, we got 11 votes. But my poll wasn't updating. That's crazy. I asked you guys who is going to properly integrate SocialFi first. 64% of you guys said X or Twitter. 18% said TikTok. That one's surprising to me. TikTok is very anti-crypto. 9% said Meta and Facebook. 9% said Google and YouTube. Although I guess it makes most sense for TikTok because TikTok already has like a big tipping economy, essentially. So, all right, next, start a poll. Next poll, we have to pick one. Rest, disappear forever. You have PC gaming rig. You have PlayStation. Any of them. Any and all. Xbox and Nintendo. Let me know what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Please direct your attention to the poll in the chat. You can only pick one. The rest disappear forever. You got PC, PlayStation, Xbox, or Nintendo. I'll wait for some votes to roll in, and then I'll give my opinion on that. TNT Media said, well, the U.S. government statement today let us know the major banks may be cyber attacked imminent. LOL, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Bora, etc. Why would they tell us today? I don't know. Billy said, so if the electrical grid goes down, how are you going to be able to charge your shit? People got solar all over the place, man. Electrical grid goes down, I'll go to my farm where my solar panel and batteries are, and I will charge my phone that way. But then at that point, Philly, if the electrical grid goes down, why the F do I want gold and silver? Shouldn't I just want food and water and shelter? That's more important than gold and silver. What the hell am I going to do with a rock? Am I going to build a house out of the amount of gold that I'm going to get? Probably not. If the world gets to the point where the electrical grid goes down, the most important metal is going to be lead. Let that sink in. Okay. Spanish government responds to President Trump ending trade with Spain. The U.S. must comply with international law and EU-U.S. trade agreements. Damn, they're so butthurt. President Trump orders U.S. Navy to escort oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz, if necessary, to ensure the free flow of energy. Philly said gold will be the currency to buy goods. But again, how many people have physical gold? And what's more important, gold or food and shelter? If I have food and shelter, or if I have food or whatever, somebody offers me gold for something, I'm going to tell them to go F themselves in the apocalypse. I'm probably actually going to shoot them to protect my family. I need you to get away from me with your gold. None of my food or shelter is for you, for me and my family. How did you find us here? If you don't leave now, you're going to be in trouble. Billy said, yep, I read that. Pulse Player said gold's not going to be small enough to buy with. TNT said food and water, ammo, gas, then use gold and silver for a boat out of USA as last resort. Pay for family to leave, LOL. Could, but not cool. Cool, but not cool. Philly said, dude, everyone's going to war with Iran and everybody else. Something's going to happen eventually. I don't disagree with you. This is one of my favorite conversations to have about the apocalypse. I just don't think anyone's going to give a shit about gold and silver when something does happen. Who's breaking little gold crumbs off for small buys? Exactly, yeah. Listen, I will trade you my home for a lifetime supply of your food. So you get to live in my house. I get to eat all of your food, but you have to keep bringing me food. No, I have no capacity to fulfill that gigantic purchase. Please leave me and my family alone. 88 Metals Mania said lead and brass, no doubt, 100%. And that Pulse Player said, who's breaking? Yep, we read that. Okay. Let's continue. President Trump calls for Congress to pass crypto market structure legislation. We're going to find that tweet here eventually. President Trump says, we are not going to allow banks to undermine our powerful crypto agenda. Get wrecked, Jamie Dimon. Little baby. President Trump warns the crypto industry will end up going to China if banks don't stop undermining crypto market structure bill. CFTC Chair Michael Seelig says crypto market structure legislation must pass. It's critical we have a future-proof digital asset market structure in place. I like the fact, and this might be people might not agree with this, but I don't really care. The fact that Trump was like debanked is the funniest thing to me because now he's the president. Regardless of whether or not you like him, this is about the banks right now. And he's going to smack the shit out of them. And that makes me giggle. That Pulse Play said, I'm with you. JJ Philly said, how to buy with broken chunks of gold? Okay. It only worked hundreds of years ago. Yeah, but today nobody gives a shit about that. Like I said, food and shelter. Hundreds of years ago, they didn't have an apocalyptic event where like a main infrastructure broke down. Like electricity. TNT Media said, true that, LOL. Been looking into Dominican Republic for a small condo now. New Zealand, too far away and too expensive. Plus, they got a Bitcoin ATM, LOL. I actually am curious about Japan because apparently you can get houses out there for like stupid cheap. And I'm like, man, if life is that cheap over there, I could just move there and like start a business and like have enough money to like live there for like 5 or 6 years before I even have to worry about working. So 5 or 6 years is more than enough to establish yourself. I'm looking at it. I got a family and I have family here, so I'm not planning on leaving. But if I was, probably look at somewhere like Japan. Okay. Marty Party posted stablecoin mint 1 minute ago. This was 9 hours ago. Another 250 million USDC issued on Solana. A lot of interesting Solana stuff recently. Solana USDC issuance hits 10.01 billion in the past 30 days. Stablecoin mint 3 minutes ago, another 500 million USDC issued on Solana. It's a lot of money. Here we go. Trump on clarity and market structure. He called for Congress to pass crypto market structure legislation ASAP, specifically referencing the Clarity Act, Digital Asset Market Clarity Act. He criticized banks for threatening and undermining progress on the Genius Act, stablecoin framework already signed in 2025 and related policies. He warned that without quick action, the crypto industry could migrate to China or other countries, emphasizing the need for U.S. dominance, crypto capital of the world. He urged banks to reach agreements with the crypto sector to keep innovation and growth domestic. Should I read the whole thing? I'm going to read the whole thing. The Genius Act is being threatened and undermined by the banks, and that is unacceptable. We are not going to allow it. The U.S. needs to get market structure done ASAP. Americans should earn money on their money. The banks are hitting record profits, and we are not going to allow them to undermine our powerful crypto agenda that will end up going to China and other countries if we don't get this Clarity Act taken care of. The Genius Act was the USA's first big step to make the United States the crypto capital of the world, and getting the Clarity Act done is the next step to finish the job and, most importantly, keep this big and beautiful industry in our country. The banks should not be trying to undercut the Genius Act or hold the Clarity Act hostage. They need to make a good deal with the crypto industry because that's what's in best interest of the American people. The industry cannot be taken from the people of America when it is so close to becoming truly successful. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Get wrecked, Jamie Dimon. Let's go back to Bitcoin, 68,296 and 1 penny. Let me check the chat. That pulse player said grid goes down, you got bigger fish to fry than gold. Exactly. 88 Metals Mania said the gold and silver would be the asset to hold when society does come back online, though. Exactly. So it's like a bet that things are gonna return to norm, which is not a bad bet to make. TNT Media said yes, Japan currency versus the DXY by far #1 purchasing power. I did not know that, actually. That's interesting. Japan only has 80 days of oil left before empty because of the Strait. Prime Minister said today, like World War II when they ran out. That's spooky. That's spooky, dude. We had to get some electric cars over there or something. That's terrifying. Some electric cars and some solar panels. Tell them to go on Alibaba. How crazy would that be if a country like handled their entire like infrastructure supply from like some online retailer? That would be a great testament to like a site like Alibaba or Temu or something. It would be really funny. Okay. Kobayashi letter posted. Investors are hedging against a credit market crash at an accelerating pace. Put option open interest in U.S. large credit ETFs and is at a record 11.5 million contracts. The total number of outstanding contracts on these funds has doubled over the last 12 months. By comparison, the 2022 bear market high was 10 million contracts. Meanwhile, tech high-yield credit spreads surged to 556 basis points, surpassing the April 2025 highs and reaching the widest level since October 2023. By comparison, the all-sector high-yield spreads stand at 361 basis points, the highest since November 2025. This means tech junk bonds are now trading at a plus 195 basis points premium to the rest of the market, the highest in at least 3 years. The credit market sell-off may just be getting started. That's a little spooky. It's a little spooky. 22 hours ago, Kobayashi letter posted NASDAQ 100 futures extend losses to minus 200 points on the day amid Iran war escalation. President Trump says wars can be fought forever using U.S. munition stockpiles with a virtually unlimited supply of weapons. That's pretty crazy. Spot gold prices fall $100 per ounce in 90 minutes, officially dropping below $5,300 an ounce. Gold is actually currently trading at $5,183, so it is still below that level. I'm very surprised at the steep sell-off on gold. It was very, very surprising. What do we got? 7 votes in the poll so far. We got 17 people watching, guys. Please direct your attention to the poll in the chat. Let us know what your opinion is. Pick one. The rest disappear forever. PC, PlayStation, Xbox, or Nintendo. And that is all encompassing. So, PlayStation, it can be any version. Same with Xbox. Same with any kind of Nintendo. going back as far as you can go back. All right. NASDAQ 100 futures extend losses to -2% as Brent crude oil prices surge above 85 for the first time since May 2024. You know what sucks? Like 2 days ago, I was like, I should fill up. And I was like, nah. And gas was like, probably like 280 something. Today, I think I paid $3.40. I was so pissed. I took a picture. I was like, this sucks. Yeah, $3.39. I was like, damn. It was more expensive, I think, yesterday, though. So I did dodge the bullet, the volatility bullet with that. Tom Salkscoat said gold trading like a penny stock, and if you pick anything other than PC, you are wrong. All right. Let's see. Continuing, global stock markets post the largest declines in months as Brent oil prices surge above 85 a barrel, and Trump says the U.S. can fight forever. South Korea -8%, Japan -6%, South Africa -6%, Germany -5%, Spain -5%, Italy -4%, United Kingdom -4%, France -3%, NASDAQ 100 -2%, China -2%. The market is beginning to price in a longer war. Boy literally just said 4 weeks, and now he's like, forever. A day goes by, and he's like, we can fight forever. I kind of like this. It's crazy. TNT Media said U.S. banks on high alert for cyber attacks as Iran war escalates. Reuters says this is so like soon reset vibes. Shut off banks, then pow, new digital dollar, LOL, for real. That is kind of spooky. And with ACH going down today, that's very, very sus. ACH going down, Trump, or not Trump, I guess, the United States doing test transactions on their Bitcoin stockpile, and then Trump makes that tweet about cryptocurrency and the Clarity Act. It's getting weird out here, guys. It's getting really weird. I got my Pokemon cards. I got my stupid copper. It's not stupid. I actually love my copper. I got my Pokemon cards. I got my copper. I got my silver. Got my... I don't have any gold. But I got my silver and my copper. And I got my crypto. I got my stocks. It's getting weird, guys. It's getting weird. Okay. China has officially opposed U.S. and Israeli military action in Iran. Iraq has shut down oil production at Rumalia. That's actually a pretty name. The world's second largest oil field, which produces 1.5 million barrels of oil per day amid escalating military activity. Cheers, guys. Happy Tuesday. Happy, I guess, escalating military activity day. Tom Selescote said, what was the Trump tweet? I missed it. All right, let me highlight where we're at so I don't lose it. I can go back to it quicker. Okay, Donald Trump tweeted earlier today, the Genius Act is being threatened and undermined by the banks, and that is unacceptable. We are not going to allow it. The U.S. needs to get market structure done ASAP. Americans should earn money on their money. The banks are hitting record profits, and we are not going to allow them to undermine our powerful crypto agenda that will end up going to China and other countries if we don't get the Clarity Act taken care of. The Genius Act was the USA's first big step to make the United States the crypto capital of the world, and getting the Clarity Act done is the next step to finish the job and, most importantly, keep this big and powerful industry in our country. The banks should not be trying to undercut the Genius Act or hold the Clarity Act hostage. They need to make a good deal with the crypto industry because that's what's in best interest of the American people. This industry cannot be taken from the people of America when it's so close to becoming truly successful. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. That was the Trump tweet. And then on the same day, the Fed's ACH goes down, and the United States just so happens to do test transactions on their Bitcoin stockpile. That's a little sus. Did my highlight area disappear? That's messed up. Okay, next, Iraq. We read that. Okay. President Trump's conflict playbook and investors step-by-step guide. Let's go check this out because this is, people were talking about this. Let me copy that. Let me go out of here. Yep, and I'll just do a new tab. Bam. We got 16 people watching. We've been going for 69 nice minutes. Make sure you guys smash the like button. I appreciate you guys for being here. We got 8 votes on the poll so far. Should we switch it up? TNT Media said I went into Chase last week and bought 2 $100 boxes of nickels. $200 face value, LOL. 300 plus metal value, bro. Heavy AF, like 28 pounds per box, LOL. For real, I'm walking out with one in each hand. That's epic. I actually saw, was it Mark Rubin that did that, I think? Is that Mark Cuban? Who the hell's Mark Rubin? Mark Cuban. God, that's so embarrassing. That is incredibly embarrassing. You know what sucks too is he's the richest shark on Shark Tank, so I just made myself look like double stupid. To my defense though, he kind of sucks at crypto. Like, for whatever reason, he thought Ion Finance was a good idea. He didn't see red flags, even though they offered like 618% yield. And it like rugged, and he was like, I was not expecting that. What? 618% yield isn't fiscally possible, and it was definitely a scam? I never would have seen that coming. TNT Media, you ever read that? Top Stocks Code said, wait, test transactions on Bitcoin would mean selling. Why would they? No, they can move it. They moved it. They didn't sell nothing. They just moved the Bitcoin. And it was like, I don't know, 12 grand worth. I don't remember. It's on here somewhere. It's in the news segment somewhere. They moved small amounts, equating to a medium-sized number. Tiny number compared to the stockpile size. But they didn't sell anything. Why would he say that and then sell? They didn't sell. Take a breath. Take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. I know I'm a little too hyped up today, but I can't help it. Okay, I'm not going to read this whole thing. Kobe SE letter, they did the tariff playbook, and it's literally beautiful. Reuben is a delicious sandwich. That's probably what it is. I'm quite hungry. I'm trying to calorie deficit. I'm getting a little chunky. I had like this, there's like a shape within my existing fat that kind of looked like a six-pack, and that is like it's inflating so much that that's just going away. So I'm like, I gotta cut back on some calories. Philly said, oh, hold on. Reuben, Cuban, both sandwiches. That is true. Philly said, Mark Cuban is a putz. He too busy working or worrying about rights and, okay. The guy's like he's got like $600 billion. Leave him alone. I don't know if it's that much, but he's the only billionaire on Shark Tank, from what I understand. Step 1, every conflict starts with the same way. A massive armada heading to whatever place, make a deal. Airspace above and surrounding Venezuela to be closed in its entirety. From Greenland, unfortunately, Denmark is unable to do anything about it. Now it is time, and it will be done. President Donald J. Trump. Step number 2, strategic posturing and physical positioning. Trump flip-flops, blah, 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 published August 11th. Flip-flops on Intel. CEO calls him success days after demanding resignation. President Trump makes 80% on Intel purchase in 6 weeks. Trump buys 10% of Intel. NVIDIA invests $5 billion in Intel. AMD prepares deal with Intel. Trump hits plus 80% gains on his purchase. Step number 3, the Friday night strike. I'm not going to read all that. Step number 4, risk asset premium expansion across asset classes. There you go. Number go up. Step number 5, President Trump teases a forever conflict, which we literally just saw happen. He just made those posts. Wars can be fought forever. In the past, he said, where was that? Have unlimited mid to upper tier weaponry, brutal stuff. Wall Street Journal story was wrong and a disgrace. Okay, interesting. Step number 6, markets begin pricing in a prolonged conflict. What are they saying for next? Step number 7, conditional de-escalation signals appear. Okay. Reciprocal tariffs announced. Good time for Powell to cut rates. Tariff pause, fake news emerges. Basis trade unwinds. 90-day tariff pause announced. Interesting. Step number 8, the market and political feedback loop. Let's see. JP Morgan inflation estimate with full closure of Strait of Hormuz. Really? They're saying it's going to go really, really high and then it's going to crash? I don't understand. Or they think we're going to be at 5. Current environment, $90 a barrel. Yeah, equity markets falling minus 5% or more would shift investor sentiment. Gas prices rising over 10% would crush consumer sentiment. Step number 9, the deal and narrative framing. Okay, great. Sign a deal. Very cool. Step number 10, the violent repricing and political victory lap. Okay, so bottom line, again, probably not financial advice. What happens in the next 2 to 4 weeks? Again, not financial advice. Bottom line, probably buy the dip. Like, buy the dip violently. Not financial advice again. I'm probably just going to be an idiot and start throwing stupid money at this crap. Because if we have a beautiful, big, fat, juicy Daddy Warbucks recovery, I want to be on top of that. Well, JJ, why wouldn't you just sell now and then buy back lower later? I don't know if it's going to go lower later. I'd rather hedge. This is my hedge. Tom Salksgoat said, LOL. I mean, why else would you move it? Normally move from stockpile to Coinbase, etc. I'm not freaking out, man. You're the one freaking out. So the reason I think, here, we're going to go tinfoil for this. Where the hell is it? We're going tinfoil. I had to bring it out. It had to come out. I think, because ACH went down, the Fed's automated clearinghouse went down earlier today too. ACH goes down. The United States, kind of like backdoor to the people paying attention, demonstrates, hey, Bitcoin can still be moved. ACH is down, but Bitcoin is not. And you can still move it in and out however much you want, as many times as you want. So they do a test transaction moving Bitcoin from one place to the other. And then Trump makes this tweet about the Clarity Act. Quite a coincidence. And Jamie Dimon is like shitting his pants on interviews, like spewing word salad, word vomit all over the interviewer. Like, he freaked out. It's creepy. It was almost like the televangelist guy, where the chick is like, you said you didn't want to fly commercial because it was a barrel full of demons. And he was like, no, I did not. Creepy, psycho, weirdo, old guy. That was the vibe that I got from Jamie Dimon in that interview. Tom Saltzgoat said, Goat puts tinfoil hat on head. Makes perfect sense. Okay. Here we go. The S&P, Adam Kobiesi himself posted the S&P 500. Gold, silver, Bitcoin, and bonds are all down sharply. But why? What's happening right now is a modest rush to the sidelines. This is a clear and consistent part of President Trump's negotiation strategy. We are at step 5 of our conflict playbook. We have spent hundreds of hours analyzing every trade and geopolitical conflict under President Trump. Read our newly released conflict playbook below. This is why I love this, because I was saying the other day, this is very much deja vu. We've seen this before. We've seen it time and time again. It feels like we're reliving 2025. It literally feels like we're in 2025 again. Like nothing has changed. Same exact thing. Iran, Israel, United States, nuclear weapons, the stock market, cryptocurrency. Instead of the genius, it's the Clarity Act this time. The banks are still on the fence. It's all the same exact thing that we just watched happen 12 months ago. And you could feel it. You could feel it. You could see it if you were here last year. You literally know. You're like, this is literally the same thing that we just did. And you're bored. And other people are catching on too, because Adam Kobiesi and the Kobiesi letter literally put together this enormous thing that I'm glad we didn't read the whole thing of, because probably just, no offense to them, I like to be thorough, but not when I'm trying to, be a live streamer. But that thing was forever long. I put a lot of time and effort into that, man. So, I don't know. It's interesting to see what's going on. President Trump says the U.S. is cutting off all trade with Spain after the country banned the U.S. from using their military bases for strikes on Iran. We don't want anything to do with Spain, Trump says. Breaking, President Trump responds to Spain banning the U.S. from using their military bases for strikes on Iran. President Trump says the U.S. is now cutting off all trade with Spain. He has a right to stop everything that has to do with Spain. He instructed Treasury Secretary Bessent to cut off all dealings with Spain. The U.S. can use Spain's bases if we want, just fly in and use it. That's a crazy thing to say. The U.S. doesn't want anything to do with Spain. Do we not want anything to do with them, or can we just fly in and use their bases? It seems the U.S. has just entered a trade war with Spain. Damn. Next, it's official. U.S. oil prices have now erased all losses seen under the Trump administration, up $23 a barrel since December. Where did we read somebody's strategy theory the other day about Trump spiking energy prices to kind of squeeze China, into complying. It was the oh shoot, was it? I don't remember. MSB Intel, maybe it might have been Bull Theory. One of the two was talking about how there's an idea, their concept about how Trump is gonna make energy really expensive and basically force China's hand to come to us and be like, we want some of your Venezuelan oil. We need some of your Venezuelan oil. And then Trump, allegedly, in this theory, is going to be like, okay, hold our debt. We want you to basically hold our debt for a really great interest rate. Thank you. That's one of the theories that's being floated. As markets begin pricing in a longer disruption of crude oil supplies, U.S. gas prices are surging. Over the last 2 months, the average price of gas in the U.S. has surged from $2.80 to $3.11 as of March 2nd. Tomorrow, we expect to see gas prices above $3.20, up nearly 15% in 2 months. The question now becomes, how long can the world afford to keep the Strait of Hormuz closed? Here we go. We got another chart. President Trump is inaugurated. U.S. strikes Iran nuclear sites. Trump calls for $2 a gallon gas. Oil prices erase all Trump admin losses. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Breaking. Iran once again says they have closed the Strait of Hormuz and oil prices will surge to $200 a barrel, plus 160% above current levels. Breaking. The U.S. is considering providing military protection to oil and gas tankers traveling in the Strait of Hormuz in an effort to contain energy prices, per Politico. Details include: 1. Trump administration is considering having the U.S. government back insurance needed for tankers. 2. U.S. looking for ways to mitigate insurers canceling war risk policies. 3. Natural gas and oil supplies from Qatar and Saudi Arabia are a key focus. 4. Restoring access to the Strait of Hormuz is being viewed as vital. President Trump is clearly focused on surging energy prices. Yeah, because that'll Achilles heel inflation as well. All right. Tom Salscote said, yep, I read that. All right, what do we got for our poll? We got 9 votes. Let me go back. Bitcoin currently trading at 68.85 and 32 cents. Let's end our poll, see what the results are. And while that's loading up, let me get the new poll started. Next poll. Is Bitcoin officially back to safe haven status? Yes, it's decoupling from the market. No, it's just lagging. No, it's already priced in this, in all this. Still just a risk asset with one. Still just risk asset. Okay, that's the poll. That's the poll. With Bitcoin holding up much better than metals and the stock market, is Bitcoin officially back to safe haven status? Ladies and gentlemen, direct your attention to the poll in the chat. Your options are: yes, it's decoupling from the market; no, it's just lagging; no, it's already priced in all of this; or it's still just a risk asset. What do you guys think? The previous poll, I said pick one and the rest disappear forever. Number 1, 45% of the votes out of 9 votes. PC gaming rig was number 1, thank God. Number 2, PlayStation, also thank God. Maybe? I don't know actually how I feel about that. I think I would want Nintendo. I would go PC, Nintendo, Xbox. No, I'm sorry, PC, Nintendo, PlayStation, then Xbox. Xbox is trash. Nobody likes Xbox. I'm just kidding. Xbox was nice, like Xbox and Xbox 360. After that, I was like, what's the point? Anyways, PC gaming rig got 45%, PlayStation got 33%, Xbox got 11%, and Nintendo got 11%. So, me personally, I like Nintendo because they still do like multiplayer games for you to play with people. Xbox and PlayStation is like, well, if you pay us a monthly fee, you can play online with your friends. And I think that's silly and stupid because if you have a PC, you don't have to pay monthly. Xbox controller's too big. All right, Tom Salkscote said that's exactly what's going to happen. We will guide tankers through. How is XOM down today? Makes no sense. Neither does gold and silver being down. It's weird, man. Market's funky. It is a funky market today. 88 Metals Mania said it might be a good idea have the ships escort them and have them pay for the protection, aka shipping insurance. That is literally like a mafia thing, where the guy goes into the store and like shakes the place down, and he's like, this place might burn down unless you paid us to make sure it doesn't. It's crazy. That's a crazy, crazy suggestion. Okay. Kobe SC letter again. Breaking tokenized gold sees highest volume on record amid U.S.-Iran tensions, with February 28th volume exceeding the previous record by 290%. As the U.S. launched strikes on Iran on February 28th, the tokenized gold volume traded surged to 25.5 million tokens on Solana per Jupiter. The previous record was seen on November 2nd, 2025 at 6.6 million tokens. Amid rising weekend volatility, tokenized asset volumes are skyrocketing. People like trading on the weekend. I don't know why they don't make all the markets 24 hours. It's weird. Breaking. President Trump is weighing backing militias to dislodge the Iranian government, per Wall Street Journal. Trump reportedly spoke with Kurdish leaders on Sunday. Trump is reportedly open to the idea of supporting armed groups in Iran. Trump is mulling several options publicly and privately about who should succeed Khamenei. Trump has repeatedly raised the Venezuela model for leadership plans in Iran. I guess the worst case is we do this and then somebody takes over who is as bad as the previous person, Trump said. I like that he's like, well, we might have fumbled the bag. It's not that big of a deal. Breaking. President Trump orders the U.S. Development Finance Corporation to provide political risk insurance and guarantees for all maritime trade traveling through the Persian Gulf. Trump also says the U.S. Navy will begin escorting tankers through the Strait of Hormuz, effective immediately. I have ordered the United States Development Finance Corporation to provide at a very reasonable price political risk insurance and all guarantees for the financial security of all maritime trade, especially energy, traveling through the Gulf. This will be available to all shipping lines. If necessary, the United States Navy will begin escorting tankers through the Strait of Hormuz as soon as possible. No matter what, the United States will ensure the free flow of energy to the world. The United States' economic and military might is the greatest on earth. More actions to come. Thank you for your attention in this matter, President Donald J. Trump. I will say, all of this that's going on, this is the most active administration I have ever seen in my entire life. Regardless, here's another thing that I'll say. People insist that Trump is only in office to line his pockets. To go through this much trouble to line your pockets when there's so many more, as we've already seen, way easier way to line your pockets just by being president. I don't buy it. I really don't. I don't know if he's doing it for a legacy. I don't know if he's doing it for some other reason. I have no idea. But I don't think that the key motive here is just money. Because there's a lot easier ways to get money, especially if you're the president of the United States of America. 88 Metals Mania said, isn't that what I just said for a cost? Yes. Yeah, that's why I was talking about that. The mafia bribing thing. HQZ said they should at least reimburse us the fuel used. Oh, they're never going to. No. Well, I think Trump's a patriot, to be honest. That too. It's weird to see. It seems so different from his first term, but maybe I wasn't paying attention too much during his first term. That's entirely possible as well. Guys, don't forget to smash the like button. I appreciate you guys for being here. Don't also check out the poll in the chat. Want to get your opinion. Breaking. U.S. Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick, I don't like him, he looks creepy, like he stinks, has volunteered to testify before the U.S. House of Representatives regarding the Island Directory. Tom Sawyer-Scote said, I'm with you. I'm often critical of Trump, but I'm on board with the Iran and Venezuela moves. Let's go take Cuba next. I don't know if I'm on board or off board. So far, it seems Venezuela seemed almost like no one got hurt. It seems like a weirdly peaceful resolution to a potential bloody conflict, which is weird to say because we're like bombing places, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe it's none of our business. Maybe the people are being kind of tortured there and it's effed up and we're going in there being robbed. I have no idea. But I don't think that it's a I want to get rich argument. I think that that's a weird argument. It doesn't make sense to me. I want to get rich, so I'm going to bomb all these countries and put a giant target on my back. That's fine. It's worth the extra cut. Like, how much more money can you spend? I don't get it. Like, what's he going to do with all that money? All right. Commerce between China and Iran is declining. China's exports to Iran fell 6.93 billion in 2025, the lowest in at least 11 years. This is down 63% from the 18.65 billion peak in 2017. At the same time, China's imports from Iran are down to 3.04 billion, leaving China's trade surplus at 3.89 billion, the lowest since 2022. Furthermore, despite absorbing around 33% of Iranian trade, Iran represents less than 1% of China's total commerce. Furthermore, Iranian crude makes up about 13% of China's seaborne oil intake, even though China purchases around 90% of total Iranian oil exports. So Iran doesn't really export that much oil then, unless China just uses a shit ton of oil. Meanwhile, in 2021, China signed a 25-year, $400 billion strategic cooperation agreement with Iran, but only 2 to 3 billion has been confirmed since then. China's economic exposure to Iran is far more limited than it seems. Ooh, interesting. Here we go again. It's extremely obvious what is happening right now. As oil prices surge to $78 a barrel, up 42% since December, President Trump responded for the first time today at 2:37 p.m. Eastern Time. President Trump ordered the U.S. Development Finance Corporation to provide political risk insurance and guarantees for all maritime trade traveling through the Persian Gulf. Why? Because oil markets were on the verge of opening for step number 6 of our conflict playbook, but Trump wanted to buy more time. Minutes after this announcement, oil prices declined as much as 10% from their highs. Rising treasury yields in the April 2025 trade war are analogous to I didn't know that was a word. Analogous to surging oil prices in the current Iran conflict. An uncontainable surge. I don't know why I'm having trouble. An uncontainable surge in energy prices would bring step number 6 of our playbook. Keep watching energy as the key leading indicator. Interesting. I forgot step number 6 already. Step number 6 of the playbook is markets begin pricing in a prolonged conflict. Interesting. And then we go to conditional de-escalation. Okay. What does he want more time for? Tom Selleck's goat. Yep. Okay. An AI Agus. China probably like that Russia oil. Oh yeah, for sure. And we probably don't even know how much Russian oil is being dealt with. Breaking, President Donald Trump says Zoran Mamdani has come a long way embracing the Declaration of Independence. Big progress. What a weird thing to post on X. Like, what's going on here? It's so odd. U.S. CPI today, or on Truth Social, whatever social media that he's on. U.S. CPI today is 0.86%, according to independent price data. I'm glad there's no stupid community notes on this. People abuse that. They're like, the U.S. CPI today is different. Blah, blah, blah. Discounted huge. U.S. CPI today, 0.86. The latest movements in the energy commodities sector haven't affected consumer utilities yet, but already influenced gasoline prices at the pump. The higher cost of transport will likely also translate into higher prices of food and goods in the near future. Food edged up today, though it remains in slight deflation alongside clothing and communication, while housing currently shows 0% inflation, a small reversal from January-February deflationary trends. Cheers, guys. Happy Tuesday. HQZ said, I think he was clowning on Mamdani. Really? I think he was kissing his ass. Or is he just, like, trying to meme because he's standing next to the freaking Declaration of Independence? That's kind of funny. It had to be satire for sure. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, because he's got a picture. He's like, he's come a long way, embracing it. You know. Next, okay. Cointelegraph posted, Sailor, I'm buying Bitcoin right now. Are you? Gotta love Sailor. Still, I like to point it out every once in a while, so I'm gonna say it again. Sailor spews a lot of word salad. He loves the word salad, but he has coherent quotes that are worth repeating sometimes. And the one, my favorite so far that I've ever heard from him, is Bitcoin is the exit strategy. I don't blindly believe that, but I like it. Bitcoin is the exit strategy is the coolest thing you could ever say about anything. If you want somebody to like your asset and to think that it's this big revered thing that could dislodge the dollar as the world reserve currency, you tell people that it's the exit strategy. That's badass. If you said gold is the exit strategy, I'd be like, oh shit, I want some gold. That sounds so sick. Bitcoin is the exit strategy. I want some Bitcoin, man. That's cool as hell. Okay. Update. Small Bitcoin transfers from U.S. government wallets totaling 18.7 thousand hint at a possible test transaction. I like that they hint at a possible test transaction. They moved some Bitcoin, man. They moved some Bitcoin. Look more like routine test movements than anything major, but the market will still watch closely for what's come next. Yeah, they got 2 months, 1 month, 3 weeks, 2 weeks. Interesting. Did Zach XBT give them some ETH? U.S. government pig? What in the world is going on here? If you guys are interested in where this is from, I'm pretty sure it is Arkham. You can see in the background, Arkham is great for tracking wallets and stuff like that. 88 Metals Mania said guy has to break even before he exits, right? All right, this one was kind of goofy. Every DeFi protocol should pass walkaway tests, says Vitalik Buterin. Talk about conditioning your audience for you piecing out after you just sold most of your bag. We want protocols that pass the walkaway test, that keep working even if the original teams disappear, turns hostile, or is compromised. Vitalik Buterin, Ethereum co-founder. The greatest thing in the world you can say to your family is, I want to make sure that if I disappear, you guys are going to be okay. So if I leave for work tomorrow and you guys never see me again, just know that I've done everything possible to make sure that you guys can handle that. Okay? You guys are strong enough for daddy to go have an affair. That's such a crazy thing to say. Paraguay's National Electricity Administration signs an MOU to explore Bitcoin mining as a national strategy to monetize unused power. Hell yeah. Ray Dalio warns against Bitcoin over privacy, central bank adoption, quantum risks, and market size. Criticisms once heard when Bitcoin was $100. I feel like those are always valid criticisms. I think the quantum risk, to me, the biggest eye-opener for quantum risks regarding Bitcoin was when somebody pointed out that quantum is actually a lot bigger of a threat to Web 2 than it is to Web 3. What are you going to do? You're going to come to Bitcoin. Check this out really quick. Hold on. Let me see. Bitcoin total market cap. Bitcoin's total market cap is 1 trillion. Bank USD holdings total market cap. Oh man, I couldn't even do this math. JP Morgan alone is like a billion or a trillion. So however much US dollar, let's actually just see if I can do cash total market cap globally. 195 trillion. Allegedly, the total value of all assets tracked by a market cap. Okay. So which one is more lucrative to go after? The banks that have stupid username password, or cryptocurrency with 22 or 24 seed phrase words you got to guess, and then you just have to keep nailing every single potential wallet address until you happen to find one that has some Bitcoin in it. Because they're free to create a wallet, so some of them might not have any money in. Or you can just hack into, with your new quantum computer, you can just hack into JP Morgan and take all of JP Morgan's money. You can hack into Bank of America, take all of their money. Like, what is a bigger risk regarding quantum? Web 2 or Web 3? So you tell me. Which one has more money, more potential? I'm just saying. CFTC Chair Michael Seelig backs Trump's call to pass the Clarity Act, says it's critical we have a future-proof digital asset market structure in place. Stock Money Lizards posted historically the ultimate Bitcoin buy signal below weekly 200 exponential moving average and daily RSI less than 30. Usually the time when fearmongers and crash prophets crawl out of their holes. Not financial advice. We are at the moment, where are we? RSI is at 46.46. Our moving average is at 38.47, and the price is at 68K, below the 200, I think. If not, it's right there. So we might reject and go a little bit lower. We have in the past. Next, Coin Bureau posted, breaking, largest public Bitcoin miner, Mara Holdings, to consider selling its Bitcoin reserves. Mara is the second largest public Bitcoin holder, has updated its treasury policy to allow potential sales of its stockpiled Bitcoin. The company currently holds 53,822 Bitcoin, ranking just behind Sailor's Strategy. That is spooky. Thus is the decentralized nature and the free market nature of cryptocurrency. That being said, this is what I mentioned before. If you're mining cryptocurrency and it's no longer profitable and you have all this really, really, really high-end graphics processing capable hardware and this crazy electricity capacity, wouldn't you just pivot to AI because it's incredibly profitable right now? What is the easiest thing to do? Would you rather build a whole new house or buy an existing house? If you buy an existing house, that eliminates a huge cost overrun, not to mention the timeline. So it's a lot easier for, let's say, NVIDIA or Amazon or Google or Meta to maybe approach a gigantic mining facility and say, hey, you guys are basically set up for everything that we need for a data center. Everything. We will bring the processors, the server racks, all that. You guys just let us use your facility. We'll pay you an F-load of money, like half of what we would pay to build the facility brand new, and then you guys can just go screw off somewhere or whatever. That, I feel like that's going to be a possibility very soon here, especially if Bitcoin's going to remain like not so profitable to mine. This is a huge possibility that we have to consider for sure. HQZ said, when do we see 120K again? That is an excellent question. I have no idea. Let's actually ask Grok that question, because I feel like that's a great question for Grok. 4.2, when do you think Bitcoin will hit 120K again? All right, let me, hang on. I'm going to log out because I don't want to use my free, because you get free stuff. So if I log out over here and I just use the free anonymous grok.com, here we go. And then I can save my paid ones as well. When do you think Bitcoin will hit 120K again? Let's see what the four agents think. For now, though, we'll go look at Bitcoin, $68,345.41. So yeah, the company currently holds, they're just behind Strategy, which is pretty crazy. HQZ said, who the F is Rich Tech Robotics? Okay, before I do that, Tom Selleck said, Google's latest quantum processor has solved a complex random distribution circuit sampling problem in under 5 minutes, which would take the world's fastest supercomputer 10 septillion years. I'm not sure anything is Seifu. Exactly. That's exactly my point. Everyone's like, Bitcoin has a huge quantum risk. So does the New York Stock Exchange. And literally anything that's even remotely digitized. So if you don't have cash and gold and like, if you take a little bit of risk with crypto, then you're screwed. The same with taking a little bit of risk with a bank account. All right, Philly said, oh wow, what the F happened with Rich Tech Robotics? So Rich Tech Robotics reportedly had a, they said like a strategic strategic relationship with Microsoft. They were very plausible deniability with their wording. They were like, we have a strategic relationship. That's like telling your buddies that you're like dating a supermodel, but you don't use the word dating. You're like, hey, yeah, man, we're seeing each other. And then your buddies run into the supermodel, and the supermodel's like, oh, I've never met him before. You know, that's kind of what happened with Rich Tech Robotics. They came out in like an official publication. And they said, we have a strategic relationship with Microsoft. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, I got to go buy that. They have a strategic relationship with Microsoft. Let's go. And everybody bought it like crazy. And then Microsoft was like, no, we are not partnered with Rich Tech Robotics, which is not what Rich Tech Robotics said. But now there's a class action lawsuit. The shareholders are suing Rich Tech Robotics for market manipulation because this bad boy dumped like 50% or more, maybe 60, 56% off of that. So, yeah. Yep. You had like a big boy scenario. You could still make the wedge argument. Maybe you got 2 points of confluence and you get your fake out of the downside. You get a bounce. I don't know. You have had this play out before, though. Very similar thing. So maybe it's just going to do this. You're going to get your little sideways scenario and then eventually break up to $6 come, what is that, 2027, probably? I don't know. Just throwing some ideas out there, just for fun. But yeah, that's what happened. They basically got caught being a little creative with their wording. Microsoft came out, so it's not that they didn't have any relationship with Microsoft. It's just that like Rich Tech Robotics decided to like use like a really big. They had like a big enterprise deal. They like bought a Microsoft product or something. It was like a customer relationship with Microsoft, and for some reason the guy at Rich Tech was like, "We have a strategic relationship," and Microsoft was like, "No, we just like sold them some shit." And we plan on selling them more. Like we have a deal to sell some stuff to them, like product or service or something. And I don't know. It was definitely a dumb thing. So in the analogy that I use with the supermodel, it's like you paid the supermodel for like a private like escort scenario, and that's all it was. Like she went out to dinner with you, and then she went home, and you told all your buddies that you and her were like gonna get married. That's kind of what happened. TNT said, whoa, watcher guru, South Korean stock market halted after 8% crash triggering circuit breaker. HQZ said, when are we going to get fembots? That'll probably happen sometime between now and 2030. You can already get a goon tube from Razer with like Grok unhinged in it. TNT Media said, most levered market on earth crashing South Korea. Wow, lol. Okay, let's go. Bitcoin just printed textbook death cross. Historically, this indicator precedes big dumps. Last time it happened in 2022, Bitcoin dumped 51%. And then he goes on to say, do not get shaken out. He's like, Bitcoin's going to crash 50%, but don't sell. We'll see if that plays out. We did got the blood moon today. Don't forget. Alert, 38% of altcoins are now trading near their all-time lows, worse than the post-FTX period. I thought that said per lot. I was like, what the hell's a per lot? Per CryptoQuaint. Very cool. We got Mark Chadwick posting, altcoins are forming a cup of destruction. Multi-year base, supported or support respected, handle forming at resistance. Last time macro plus structure aligned like this, 2020. Total 3 went from 40 billion to 1.7 trillion. 40x expansion outliers went 100x plus. Now zoom out. ISM back above 50 expansion. Fed liquidity turning back. Alts versus Bitcoin prints 3 monthly green candles. Alts versus Bitcoin first bullish monthly crossover in 6 years. Once this breaks, it becomes a parabola. It's crypto's turn to get vertical, and it looks like alts are going to lead the charge. HODL. Next, we got bar chart posting. U.S. will owe an additional $700 million in interest each month that delays paying tariff refunds. I don't know where the interest comes from. That's kind of funny, though. Breaking, Berkshire Hathaway tumbles nearly 5% on earnings. Its largest red day after earning in more than a decade. Berkshire Hathaway is now underperforming the S&P 500 by nearly 28 percentage points since Warren Buffett announced his retirement. This ain't gonna work, Greg. I don't know who Greg is. I'm old Greg. Fed Reserve just pumped $3 billion into U.S. banking system through overnight repos. If you invested $10,000 into Campbell's Soup exactly 10 years ago, you'd have $5,718 today, dividends included. Not too bad. I will say, if you think, even after all the FUD and all the like printed meat and whatever, who cares? After all that stuff, if you are bullish on a possible like recessionary environment, you should be buying Campbell's, especially with how down bad they are. Campbell's is great when you're poor. It's like $1 a can. TNT Media. Okay, Philly said, JJ, can you look at Micron Technology? What the F happened from 2023 all the way to up to now? Tom Salkscode said I bought that. Berkshire B dip. They have so much cash on hand when a real dip comes. You don't think we're experiencing a real dip right now? After I just got done talking about how sideways the S&P 500 and NASDAQ are. Palantir monster trading alert, insider trading alert. Billionaire Peter Thiel will dump a whopping $280 million worth of Palantir shares. That's crazy. Lockheed Martin jumps to a new all-time high. Defense stocks, man. Let's go take a look at Micron for Philly. NASDAQ. You said from 2023 till now. Definitely AI. This is 100% AI driven. Let's go to the daily. 21, 22, and 23. What the F happened from 2023 all the way up to now? Yeah, this is an AI trade. I'm assuming. Micron Technology, let me see. An American multinational semiconductor company. Exactly. So yeah, this is all AI. Any kind of semiconductor, any kind of memory, any kind of anything to do with computer components probably looks exactly like this. The AI super trade definitely exploded. AMD is going to look the same. NVIDIA obviously is going to look the same. Intel probably looks the same. What else? All of the Taiwan semiconductor, I don't know if that's even a stock, but any kind of semiconductor stuff is going to look the same. Single stocks expected to be more volatile than the S&P 500 by the largest margin since October 2008. Anything interesting happen then? I like that. That's a good one. Anything interesting happen then? Next. Whoops, I didn't need to do that. I just wanted to give it a little heart. Never forget, we got a brilliant quote from Mr. Peter Lynch. Far more money has been lost by investors preparing for corrections or trying to anticipate corrections than has been lost in corrections themselves. The very nature of a correction is temporary. Even if it's a prolonged 1 year, 5 year, 10 year, if you're not planning on retiring within the next decade, you shouldn't be worrying about it. If you are, then I'm sure you got the appropriate hedges and you're comfortable. Philly said, why didn't I buy this back then? That's how I feel about literally everything except for crypto. That's how I feel about literally everything except for crypto. Which is why I'm diversifying now. I'm buying the tops on everything else. Well, I guess I'm continuing to DCA into crypto, but for all I know, this is going to be like the super uber mega top of everything forever. I don't think so, though. I think they're going to turn that money printer on in May. All hail King Dollar, US dollar on track for its biggest 2-day gain since September 2022. Where we traveling? Very cool. Breaking stock market timber, number go down. Stock market plunges to most amount of fear this year, 30. Very spooky. Gold on track for its third largest loss over the last decade, number go down. Israel stock market hits all-time high. We knew that. Tel Aviv Stock Exchange number go up. Another Peter Lynch quote, the market will go down sometimes. It's a good thing when it does, but if you're not ready for that, you shouldn't own stocks. What a legend. S&P 500 SPY falls to lowest price since Thanksgiving week. Volatility Index VIX on track for its highest close since April's tariff meltdown. Liberation Day, aka Liquidation Day. Well, that was our signal. Figure 12, strongest equity retail flows on record. What have I been saying this whole time? Every time we see they're like record retail participation and blah blah blah, and I'm like, That does not bode well for literally anyone. That is the worst thing you could tell me, is that retail is buying the dip. That makes me not want to do anything. That makes me want to run and hide. If retail is buying the dip and institutions are dumping hard, we're probably going down. Billy said, JJ, look at ooh. Take a look at Energy Fuels Inc. Oh, that's weird. That's actually very odd. Interesting. So we were looking for that handle. If this was going to be a cup and handle, maybe it's just going to be wider. Somebody is making ramen noodles, and it is so fragrant. It is filling my entire office. That's all I smell. And it's like triggering my brain. I'm like, I'm in high school. Something's happening. Cheers, guys. Happy Tuesday. Appreciate you guys for sticking around. 50%. We got 6 votes in the poll. Let's change the poll up before we get any further here. I asked you guys, is Bitcoin officially back to safe haven status? 50% of you said still just a risk asset. 33% said no, it's already priced in all this. 17% said no, it's just lagging. 0% said yes, it's decoupling from the market. Cheers, guys. Again, happy Tuesday. Next. Start a poll. Is the blood moon... Where is the blood moon dump? Heading next. Stocks drop another 5% plus. Metals bounce first. Bitcoin finally crashes more. Or this is the bottom. Number go up now. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the poll in the chat. Let me know what you think. I asked you guys, where is the blood moon dump heading next? We got stocks drop another 5% plus. Metals bounce first. Bitcoin finally crashes more, or this is the bottom. Number go up now. We like number go up now. Anyways, take a look at ooh. Since 2020, Philly said we're on the daily since 2020. Whoops, get rid of that. 2025. Let's go all the way back to 2020. Yeah, December. This thing went up. You know what would have sucked is buying this in November of 21 and then having to wait, what, 5 years for like an actual spike. I will say, it's interesting watching energy be so cheap, even though things seem so incredibly unaffordable. It's definitely weird. But yeah, this thing did well. Hindsight is 2020. 1000%. Wow, that is a big increase. We are spoiled with cryptocurrency, though. We are like used to those moves happening on like new assets because market caps are small and the retail is silly. We got a beautiful bullish divergence here, which played out very nicely to the upside. If you would have caught that when it happened, let's say that touch, or even just this bounce right here, if you would have bought on that bounce, you'd be up 100% right now. So you buy the breakout, 70%. That's a pretty big move. Why didn't we buy that? I have no idea. Got this cup and handle. This is one that I think Mr. Roberts has been watching and asking us about. Looking for that big cup and handle, or maybe even the bigger cup and handle. If you zoom way out, maybe this thing goes all the way back there, but I think it's just this cup handle. So who knows, man? Maybe this thing's going up to 26 next out of 20. That's a 28% pump. That's pretty crazy, actually. This thing's moving like a meme coin almost. Okay, Bitcoin 68, 225 and 212 and 52 cents. Looking good. Let's continue. Next, South Korea's stock market plunged by more than 7%. Its third largest loss this century. And Japan's stock market plunged by more than 3%. Its worst day since November. That's pretty crazy. Let's go to Watch Your Guru. Oh my gosh, I'm pressing buttons I'm not supposed to be pressing. What's going on? Watch Your Guru. Bring over here. Bam. All right, we have South Korean stock market halted after 8% crash, triggering circuit breaker. That's spooky, man. And 9 hours ago, yep, we read that. Okay, let's see Kobe SE letter as well. See if they got any updates for us. Highly recommend you guys give these pages a follow. Also, if you're not in the Discord, I usually post this stuff, and anything that's like really relevant, I usually post in there right away. So, all right. Anything from Kobe SE letter? Yes, actually. We've got France's President Macron says France is building a coalition, including military resources, to resume and secure traffic in the Strait of Hormuz. All right, let's go. I like it. And we've got the South Korean stock market falls over 8%, triggers a circuit breaker. And then South Korea stock market extends losses to minus 11% on the day, just minutes after triggering a circuit breaker. Damn. And we got Trump chilling with his big-ass hat. Very cool. Let's go see what Grok said. We asked Grok, when do you think Bitcoin will hit 120K again? Said, nobody knows for sure, blah, blah, blah. Analysts, some bulls, 110 to 170 sometime in 2026. That would be crazy. With more action in the second half, prediction markets. Even 150K by year's end, only 10% odds recently. Broader 2026 forecast range from conservative 75 to 120 to widely bullish 200K plus. Average expectations cluster around 110 to 150 by year's end if recovery builds. Longer term tailwinds, my reasoned guess, I expect Bitcoin will hit $120,000 again sometime in late 2026 to mid 2027. Base case Q2 to Q3 2027. Here's why. We are still, what's going on, G Immortal? Billy said, so is buying now, just buying the top of what? Ooh, that's up to you, man. I have no idea. Energy, I feel like energy is going to do good just because of the AI trade. I think AI is going to need a shit ton of energy. Even if it's privately funded, they're still going to need energy. I expect, okay, Q2, blah, blah, blah. Here's why. We're still in the post-peak correction leg of this cycle. History shows these don't resolve overnight. Think 2022 bear after the 2021 top. A quick double from here, plus 76% in the next few months, would be extraordinary even for Bitcoin, especially with current risk-off macro headwinds. More likely, we'll see chop consolidation, maybe testing 60K or lower first, then a grind higher as ETF flows stabilize and macro improves. Optimistic scenario, strong ETF rebound plus rate cuts, adoption, momentum. Could reclaim 120K by late 2026. Bearish scenario, recession or prolonged outflows, pushes it into 2028, pre-having strength. This isn't financial advice. I'm an AI, not a crystal ball, and crypto can and will surprise everyone. Past cycles aren't guarantees, especially when Bitcoin's growing institutional maturity. If you're holding long term, and the fundamentals, scarcity plus adoption, still look strong. If you want a specific price target or a chart analysis or updates as things evolve, just ask, what's your own timeline? Thank you, Grok. Bitcoin is $68,324.75. Let's see. We've been going for 2 hours. Yes, we have. I suppose we should call it. We got 4 votes. I'm going to end it because we are split very nicely. I asked you guys, where is the blood moon dump heading next? 50% of you guys said Bitcoin finally crashes more. 25% of you guys said stocks drop another 5% or more. And 25% of you guys said this is the bottom, number go up now. 0% said metals bounce first. TNT Media said huge increase in volume for silver SIK futures May 26th, besides the huge bullish RSI divergence on the daily long term here. Wow. Tom Scott said, I think energy is the biggest bottleneck we will see for a long time. It's not going to be the chips, it's going to be the power for them. Long all energy, especially nuclear, but that's more like 2030. My favorite nuclear play right now is SMR, especially after recent retraces. That thing's down pretty bad. Nuclear Power Corporation. This is small nuclear reactors, and I think that's what's going to be needed. especially if they want to get this AI infrastructure built fast. I would not be surprised to see temporary structures up, and then the more permanent stuff gets put into place, and they make all of this stuff kind of movable into place. Look at this gigantic. This is like, what do you call this? There's a name for this. It's like a megaphone, some bullshit megaphone pattern or something. Sounds so made up. You just make stuff up. This is like a Hawaii 5-0 ocean liner wave, and you could see here the deviation from the safety boats is totally acceptable because the captain is on the phone with the Coast Guard. that's my parody of myself. Oh man. All right. Yeah, I like me some new scale. I like hydrogen too. I don't know why. My little degenerate gambler brain loves hydrogen. It's the most useless thing on the planet, but I love it. If you guys haven't already and you are interested in becoming a degenerate gambler like me, consider signing up for Kalshi using my link in the description. If you sign up there and deposit and trade with $25 or more, by trade I mean bet, because it is a betting market, with $25 or more, we will both receive $25 in non-withdrawable site credit. Subscribe if you haven't already. We're trying to hit 2K subs before April. CoinMarketCap Fear and Greed is at 19. Yesterday we were at 20, so we are one more afraid today than we were yesterday. Top 10 looks the same as it did this past week. Very good. CoinGlass Fear and Greed is at 9. We are, I think, a little more afraid than we were yesterday as well. I think yesterday was at least at 10. And the stock market Fear and Greed is at 32, down from yesterday. Interesting. Let's get back to it. TNT Media said only only 9.95 million ounces of physical silver left at the Shanghai Futures Exchange, worth roughly a tiny 870 million. LOL, awesome. That's an emergency signal. Oh, dude, I'm like stupid stoked for silver. I've thought about maybe I'll buy more. So you're getting me hyped up. I'm probably gonna order some as soon as I get off the stream. So, anyways, guys, if you guys haven't already, join the Discord. Links in the description. It's a ton of fun. The stock channel in there is really cool, and just the general chat in there is really cool. There's no like strict rules, no obligations. There's no monetary crap that's gonna be thrown in your face. So, come hang out. It's a ton of fun. I'll be here tomorrow for sure, maybe even a little bit earlier than usual. As always, when Bitcoin or the entire market starts to do anything crazy or anything at all, I will hop back on. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. Happy Tuesday and good night.